The mountain plantations archaeological landscape of the first coffee plantations in the southeast of Cuba. At the beginning of the 19th century, much of the primeval forest of the Sierra Maestra mountain range in southern Cuba was cleared to create large-scale coffee plantations. This terraced area is known as a secadero. Skinned coffee beans were spread out here for drying. In front of the secadero is the plantation owner's house. The owner of this plantation was French, and his house was built in French style. In order to make the house suitable for the tropical climate, it was made of wood and built on top of a stone base. This is where coffee beans were stored. Coffee beans from this region were exported to Europe in those days. This is where farm tools were stored. Many picks and spades were kept here. They were used by slaves brought to Sierra Maestra to clear the forest and cultivate coffee trees. The remains of the slaves' quarters are at the rear of the owner's house. It's quite rare for this sort of structure to be built in stone. A horse-driven wooden wheel was used to separate the skin from coffee beans. In the second half of the 19th century, new coffee production techniques were developed in Brazil and Colombia, and the old-style plantations were no longer able to compete. Many coffee plantations on the Sierra Maestra were forced to close, but some still managed to keep going. The farmers used the original varieties of coffee bean and traditional processing methods. Although only a small amount of coffee is still grown by family-run farms today, the remnants of the large plantations describe an important stage in the history of coffee growing.